In today's tutorial we're going to do the stockinette stitch. I'm going to show you how to load the loom from scratch. Also just using an empty pen. Empty pen is used just to be able to trace it on. You can do it with your fingers if you wish. I find the empty pen, as long as it can fit in between the pegs, it's good. So just take out the stuffing of that. So let me show you how to load this pen up, and then I'll show you how to wrap the loom for the stockinette stitch. So grabbing a piece of wire, could be floral wire, could be anything if you wish, then just put the yarn onto the wire where it folds, and then taking the other two pieces, the two sides, and just put them through and pull it through. It's easier than just trying to push that through that. Okay, so there you go. This is good to go. This is using Caron sprinkle cakes, by the way, and it's a chunky weight yarn, so you can double strand if you have to, if the thickness is not big enough for you. So let's begin to do this stitch. Now remember, with these flat looms you can go as big as you want to go, so there's much longer versions, but this particular one is just a shorter one for demonstration purposes. I would like you to start off with the slip knot, so I'm going to pretend that you don't know how to do a slip knot. So you're just going to take the yarn and take your pointer finger and wrap the yarn twice. Okay, so yarn, wrap twice. So point and wrap twice. Noticing that this is already on, it has to be on before you do this. You're going to take the back one that's on the back of your hand and jump it over the forward, so it's a game of leapfrog. And then you're going to take this new back one, and this frog is so excited when he jumps over the other one, then he jumps right over the top of the finger, and that is your slip knot that you're going to start with. So wrap in your finger twice, play the game of leapfrog. The back one jumps over the first one, and then the new one that's at the back is so excited he jumps over and goes right up over top of the finger. And therefore that is your slip knot, and that's the one I want you to put right here. So put that on there and secure it by just pulling it a little bit snug. Don't pull it too tight, and tuck the straggler so that it's inside the loom like that. So let's begin with your yarn coming out of your tool. If you can hand wrap it with your hands if you prefer, but I don't prefer that. And I'm just going to come in between the two pegs here, and I'm just going to trace the yarn around the peg so it crosses over. It's called the twist knit because it's twisting over. So now you're going to come to the next peg and go on the outside, and then back over, and then come straight down, and always making sure that it's crossing over. The only time it doesn't cross over is the very last peg of the row. So you're just going to continue to go all the way down. And you can get faster and faster and faster and faster and start really whipping around this thing. Now when you get to the outside here, you're gonna twist around, and you're gonna twist around this one. So here's where it slightly changes. In order to go back the other direction, you have to come straight up, twist around, and then you have to catch the one that you were just in and go around, and then start moving it back in the other direction. So you can go as big as you want to, or short, it doesn't matter. And then you're gonna come around the last one and zip around to the outside so it crosses right over that last one. So that's the first one that you want to knit with so that it doesn't unravel. So knit that one first. So take the bottom over the top, and now you can let it rest. It will not fall out. It's easier to pull these loops off, so just tilting the loom up and pull those up and over. And you're gonna work your way all the way down. The tension is existing because you just wrapped it, so it's easier to deal with the tension in a pulling motion than it is to push up. And then once this side is complete, you're gonna flip it in the other direction and take the bottom over the top, because the tension is now gone. Nice and easy, and it's away from you, and the way that it's making your wrist twist, it's so much easier than if the tension was on this side and you're kind of fighting with it to go over. So next we're going to actually wrap it stockinette style. This is twisted stockinette, and this is the way to kind of get it started so that the very first part does not fall out, and it will now be locked into position going forward. So using your thumb, just glide and push, and you're resetting, and let's begin the actual stockinette stitch. To do the stockinette stitch, you're going to basically jump every other peg. So right where you're sitting, come straight up on the outside, and then coming down and jumping to the next peg. Ignore this one and come straight up. This is called a U stitch, and come up and then back down. And you're gonna work your way all the way down your loom in this formation. And when you get to the end, just come all the way up and now capture the ones that you were skipping, going all the way back to where you had been. Now you're gonna come around to the last one here and zip around and kind of just go around that anchor there just to kind of pin it, and this will be the first one that you're going to knit, because then it won't unravel. Now I would do the same thing I talked to you about before. I would just tilt it up and pull it up and over and go all the way down your loom. So you're going to notice that this will look different than the last one that we just did. So it will not be twisted. If it's kind of loosening up on you, just use your thumb just to kind of stabilize it back and continue along. And once you get used to this stitch, it becomes very, very easy. If you've ever done spool knitting, chances are it's gonna look just like you were spool knitting before without the twist. So this side has the tension because it's the first side that you're knitting. So when you go to flip up the other side, you're gonna notice it's much easier. And now because you've got have the twist already underneath this, when you go to do this, it'll lock. Anybody know the technical name of those little fluffs that are colored in this Caron sprinkle cakes? That's your assignment this week. Do you know the technical name for that? Okay, so you're gonna go all the way across, and once you're done that, just use your thumb, push down, and the work is growing up underneath. I will show you wrapping one more time.